Tanya, and we're going to read a book called Ooh La La, Max in Love. Now, this is a book by a woman named Maira Kalman, and the cool thing about this is she is the author. She wrote the words in the book, but she's also the illustrator, so she made all the pictures in this book too. So Ooh La La, Max in Love is a book that takes us from New York to Paris. It's about a dog who is a poet, so he's a writer, and he goes to Paris and has some adventures there, and as the title gives away, he falls in love. So, Ooh La La, Max in Love. This book has some words that are in French, some words that are in English. We'll talk about those. And it starts with this really cool paper on the inside. So you can see all these little characters. There are different kinds of dogs. There are different people with mustaches and all sorts of details. And you'll see all the pictures in this book have a lot of fun details too. And because the author and the illustrator are the same person, they do a really great job. Maira Kalman does a really good job of putting the words into the pictures in ways that are really cool and unusual. So in the book, there are a bunch of different phone calls between these two characters named Jacques and Mimi. So this is the first phone call, and they're always talking about what's going on with Max. And usually it's Mimi who is doing all of the talking. So we'll see. This is the first example of these really detailed pictures. So you can see here is this guy on the phone is Jacques. He's in the yellow chair. And you can see he's in a room where a lot of other stuff is going on. We've got a dancer, we have this portrait on the wall, and he's taking this phone call from Mimi. And then on the other end of the phone, here, we have Mimi. And she looks a little more relaxed, but you can see she's there. She's relaxing with her dog, and she's gonna be doing a lot of talking and telling Jacques all about what's going on with Max. So let's start the phone call. Allô? Allô, Jacques? Jacques? It is me, Mimi. Oui, Mimi. I just got off the phone with Kiki. Oh, Jacques, not Fifi, Kiki. Listen, Zuzu called Lulu, Lulu called Coco, Coco called Kiki, and Kiki called me. Have you heard the latest? To Paris is abuzz. Max is here. Who is Max? Mon Dieu, sacre bleu. He is the coolest cat. I mean, the hottest dog. He is Max Stravinsky, the dog poet from New York, that bohemian beagle. He's staying at Madame Camembert's. I don't know what he's going to do, but I will call Tarte. Tarte Titan. She finds out everything from that bogus Barcelonian baron Federico de Potatoes, who is a fortune hunter or a fortune teller or something. But he is très intelligent, and he always gives me the scoop. Alors, I must run. My souffle is sinking. Jacques, there is something in the air, don't you think? It's very, oh so very. And then it trails off, and we have Ooh La La. So, Ooh La La, Max in Love. And now the story is going to be from Max's perspective. And we know this because we have the word wow, and then it continues in our first page with Max, our hero. Wow, wow. So we have these big words at the top, wow, wow. And then we can see all of Max's thoughts, and we're going to read them here just in a second, are inside his hat on his head. So we can see Max is surrounded by people. He has all of these eyes that are looking at him, and he's just getting to Paris. So let's see what he has to say. I can't believe it. Me, Max Stravinsky, in Paris. Picasso, Pate, the opera, ballet, the creme de la creme, the city that gleams, that romantic, extravagantic city of dreams. Oh, pluperfect Paris, just give me a chance, and I'll toast your beauty, oh Paris of France. Airport scene, mad crush, wild rush, too much. Here we go. Too much fame for this dog. I wanted to be alone. So we go from this crazy scene, everyone's looking at him, and then here we are, and he says, my room was the blue suite, or as the French say, bleu. So, and then we have all the things in his room are all labeled. So we have bleu wall, bleu bed, bleu chair. I was beat. I was bushed. I lay down for a nap. I dreamt that a blue horse was playing checkers with a blue woman in a garden of blue trees. The sky was pink. Go figure. So you can see through this window we have this pink sky that he's talking about. Now there's something fun about this next picture, and we'll see the words are part of this picture in a very fun way. So you can see, I was awakened by a knocking at the door. In entered a long mustache, followed by a man. Bonjour, Monsieur Max. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Fritz from the Ritz, which I quit in a snit when the chef in a fit threw escargot on my chapeau and hit my head with a stale French bread. Now I'm here in this little hotel run by the aromatic Madame Camembert. I adore her and she adores me. It's not always that simple in this town of Paris. With that, he placed a tray on my bed. I thought you might need this. He was right. I was so hungry, I could have eaten my beret. So now we have the next page, and we can see he's in his room, and there's this beautiful view out the window, and then we have a guy up here on the roof. So let's see. Max is looking out the window. He says, as I was eating, my eyes fell on an amazing building outside my window. Fritz, I asked, what's that scary-looking shack with those monsters sticking out? That shack, monsieur, is the great Notre Dame Cathedral, and those monsters are gargoyles. A hunchback used to live in that tower, and he died of a broken heart. And now I will leave you to your ruminations. Au revoir. I gazed out the window and wondered about love. So, we have another visitor for Max. The door, she knocked. Entered a woman walking a leopard. My name is Charlotte Rousse. I came by autobus. I am your French tutor? Well, never mind. I have taught plenty of rats in my time, so I can certainly teach a dog. Now, put this clothespin on your nose, make your mouth, the bouche, into a little bonbon shape, stomp your foot, and say, no, 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 no. Now say, ooh la la. That's it. Ooh la la and no. Suddenly, she flung herself on the bed, crying, Monsieur Max, I cannot teach today. I just fell in love, and I cannot concentrate. And with that, she left. What a lovesick town. So everybody that Max meets is talking to him about love. And so what does he do? He's going to go outside and maybe take a little walk. So in this scene, he says, I was itchy to walk through the boulevards, the parks, and the little streets on that sunlit day. So we can see all the things that Max is seeing here. We've got this man with the birds. We've got people up here at the pond. And then we can even see in the cart drawn by a horse, we can see Max taking a ride, right? And then down here, we can also see Max again. And it looks like, what is he doing? Looks like he's playing ball with some people in the park too. So he's going to keep walking, and he says, and here we can see the way that the words are throughout the picture. This is a fun way, and they're not even all on the same line. So he says, to inhale leafy, lilac-y Paris. It was April, after all. So it looks like we see Max in multiple places throughout this picture, so it's almost like we're watching him travel, right? So he's here in a boat in the river, he's up here reading, and then he continues his journey, and we can see it says a baguette here. And let's see, do we see any baguettes in this picture? Baguettes are long, skinny pieces of bread. So I think if you look at Max at the table, he's got a baguette. And then we also have a really super long baguette with these three guys down here. So we have a baguette here, a Napoleon there. And Napoleon is a general from history. He was a French general. And this guy looks a lot like that, doesn't he? A Napoleon there. I continued my ambling around my dove-gray, debonair town. So Max is going to keep going around Paris. Does this picture look familiar? Let's see. So he says, I decided that I must see Mona Lisa, who is not a friend, but a painting by Leonardo da Vinci. Everyone in the world comes to Paris, runs to the museum, stands online for 500 or 600 hours, and then they all go, ooh, 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 and ah. So this is Maira Kalman drawing a very, very famous painting called the Mona Lisa. And then on the next page, we have a similar version of that painting with some important differences. So then here's what Max says about this picture. The funny thing is that some joker named Marcel Duchamp decided that he would take the Mona Lisa and doll her up, which he did. And people went, ooh la la, and ha ha ha. And why do you think people said ha ha ha? I bet it's because he dolled her up by adding a mustache and a goatee. All right, and now I'm gonna let you see this next picture before I read you the words because it's very cool and there are a lot of things to look at here. So, in this picture, we can see that all the things in the picture have words written on them. So we can see they're like the man that says, his coat says why on it, and the dog says why not. And then we can also look and see we have the leaves of the tree that have words on them too. So it's quite a cool scene. And you can see even compared to the other pictures, this picture is all gray and black and white, so it's a very dramatic change. So let's see what Max has to say about that. As I left the museum, I saw a scene that made my heart stand still. A man had written poems all over the sidewalks, and the buildings, and the cars, and the trees. As the cars left, parts of his poems went whizzing around Paris. And it says, and as the leaves fell from the trees, words fluttered down to the ground. I kept walking. I was in a funny mood, expecting something I couldn't name. So Max is in a funny mood, and maybe you felt like this sometimes. Like sometimes you know that you have a feeling, but you don't quite know what the feeling is. And so he's walking around Paris, he's feeling maybe a little sad, but maybe just kind of a little funny. And now we have another phone call. So this time, Mimi is on the phone, and she's in the middle of doing a very dramatic dance, it looks like, right? And then we've got this scene, and it looks like Jacques is maybe playing the piano. He's in a costume. He's at a party. There are all these people. And so they're both very busy, but Mimi is giving Jacques a call to give him the latest. And so now we're going to see what Mimi has to say. Allô, Jacques? It's moi, Mimi. What a horrible day. The butcher delivered the wrong order. Instead of 60 spicy saucissons, which are sausages, and a small steak for my dog Suzi, they delivered 60 steaks and 1 sweet saucisson. Then Louis L'Amour came over and cried for 3 hours about his beloved Loulou Fabula, who ran away with the circus to become a snake charmer. Quel cook! But the latest on Max. He has been seen everywhere with a hangdog expression on his face. And so what do we think a hangdog expression would be? Maybe kind of a sad expression? Yeah. So, if I know anything, which I do, This moody meandering means one thing. Love, Jacques. L'amour. He is looking for, needy of, and pining for love. Love, 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 love is in the air. Isn't it glorious, Jacques? But I must dash. My mousse is melting. Bye-bye. All right, so Mimi is off to the next, but she thinks that Max is looking for love. And Max is going to continue his journey around Paris. So where are we now? Looks like we're at the Eiffel Tower. So I'd walked like crazy when I suddenly came upon it. The Tinker Toy Tower, the Eiffel Tower. As I took the elevator up, 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 I looked down, down, down at the vista below, thinking of the kings and queens, poets and artists who had lived and loved in this city. And I wondered, who invented the souffle anyway? And what was he thinking? So here's this picture of the Eiffel Tower, and you can see the way that the words go up and then they go down. And you can see from the top of the tower all across Paris. And now in our next picture, Max is joined at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and he's going to meet somebody new. A tap on my shoulder broke my reverie. Excusez-moi, but aren't you Max Stravinsky? Yes, I answered brilliantly. I am Pierre Potpourri, the owner of the Crazy Wolf nightclub. Monsieur Max, would you grace us with your presence tonight at the Crazy? Yes, I answered dramatically. Capital. Now, you must join me for lunch. I am meeting a dear friend, Madame Melba. So let's see what Madame Melba looks like. Here's Madame Melba. So who's in the picture with her? We've got these two blue dogs down here at the bottom. And then we've got this guy in green next to her that looks like maybe a monkey. Let's see what they have to say about this. The peach, la pêche. Everyone knew Melba. Everyone knew Peach Melba. She owned the world-famous Glamour Puss Charm School. She had two French bulldogs on her lap who were having a terrible argument about philosophy. Idiot, imbecile, stupide, they barked at each other. Next to Melba was her constant companion, so this is her constant companion, a monkey named Sammy, who was wearing an enormous feather in his hat, which he used to tickle people's ears. So let's see what's happening. He has this feather in his hat, and it's going all the way up to tickle this guy's ears. Charmed to meet you, Mr. Shostakovich, trilled Melba as I bowed hello. Stravinsky, I said. The name is Stravinsky. Oh, of course, Mr. Stradivarius, of course, absurd mistake. We all ordered the soup du jour, which means soup of the day, and ate in peace until one of the dogs dumped his soup on the other one's head. Lunch lunched, Melba toasted. We decided to go to so this is the scene with Melba, and now we're going to the Pompadour Museum. They had the most amazing hairdos from all these guys who had flipped their wigs. So the pompadour is a hairstyle from history. Sometimes pompadours were wigs, and they were these big, tall hairstyles that were really popular in France a long, long time ago. And so this is a fun take on that, where we see this room full of all these wigs in different colors, and then even the visitors who go to the museum to see the wigs have crazy hairstyles. I headed back to the hotel. On my way, I saw a pair of black shoes sitting on the sidewalk. Next to them stood a fish-eyed man in his socks, looking up at the sky. Now this is a whole new scene. Let's see who we have here. Back in my room, the phone, he rang. Allô, this is Monsieur Max, I said Frenchily. Hey, Max, what's with the phony baloney? French accent? It's me, Leon, your devoted agent. While you stuff your face with French fries, I'm working like a dog, making deals for you. And baby, this is it. The sweetest deal of all. I'm in Hollywood, and they want you to write a script. Some cockamamie love story. They want you here pronto to start writing. You'll love it here. Everyone is beautiful. Love you, Maxie. Ciao. So, Max the dog has an agent who's a person, and that's who is calling him. And everything that he said, he says he's calling from Hollywood, so he's in California. And what do they have in California? They have big swimming pools, so that's where all of this writing is. And now Max says, I hung up. Leon sounded so strange. The cinema had appeal, but something was missing. How could I write a love story if I didn't have love? So Max has been offered to write a script for a movie, but he's wondering about love again. He's wondering, can he write about love if he's not in love? And so now we have another phone call. This time we've got a big party scene, and we've got all these people. They're gathered around a crystal ball, and this is where we think this is where Jacques is on the phone. So maybe Jacques is dressed up in an extra strange outfit this time, but he's not alone in dressing up. So he's being called on the phone by Mimi, and Mimi is super dressed up too. So let's see what Mimi has to say to Jacques this time. Here we go. Allô? Allô? Jacques? Can you hear me? What is all that wailing in the background? Did you hear the latest? Max had lunch with Peach Melba. She runs that glamour school. You must have seen her ads. Do not be a sourpuss. Do not suck on lemons. You can be a glamour puss and a makeover made in heaven. She charges an arm and a leg and teaches people how to dress, walk, talk, eat, breathe, and in the end, voila! From a pig to a princess. Tonight, I'm going to the Crazy Wolf, of course. To Paris will be there. Max is coming. Crêpe Suzette is performing. Yes, that divine Dalmatian. What will I wear? You know that monkey, Sammy? Yes, Sammy Lacroix. He is the most brilliant fashion designer, and he has created this fabulous frock made of bananas. Yes, only bananas. But Jacques, I must run. My bunches are beginning to droop. So what did we just learn? Remember Sammy from the restaurant with Peach Melba? He is a fashion designer, and what would monkeys make clothing out of if they could? One of their favorite things to eat, bananas. So that's what we have here. That's what Mimi is wearing. And she's going to be at the nightclub tonight, where we know Max is going because he was invited to go to the Crazy Wolf nightclub. So let's see what it's like at the Crazy Wolf nightclub. So Max is going, and this is one of the places where I think it's really fun to see what the words are doing in this picture. So we can see, if you look right up here at the top of this page, you can see the way that the words are arranged. And in this story, he's going to go down this set of stairs, and the words are arranged like little stair steps, which I think is really cool. All right, so let's see. The night came with stars. Down a crooked flight of stairs and a crooked alley, I knocked 3 times on a green door, and I was in the Crazy Wolf, that noise-soaked, blue-smoked spot. And then down here, we've got somebody, and we're going to see what they have to say. It says, "Hey, fermez la porte," someone shouted. "Hey, fermez la bouche," someone else shouted. So fermez la porte means close the door, and fermez la bouche, we've heard about the bouche before, that's the mouth. So someone yelled, "Close the door," and then someone yelled at that person, "Close your mouth." Suddenly, a large wolf wearing a suit came running toward me. I nearly jumped to the chandelier. "Max, it's me, Pierre," said the wolf, taking off his headdress. "Welcome, Max. We are about to begin the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Crêpe Suzette." So now we've heard that Crêpe Suzette is a Dalmatian. Let's see. She's going to perform for the group. So let's see what it's like when Crêpe Suzette takes the stage. So here she is. Looks like she's going to play the piano. And what does Max think of this? All eyes turned toward the stage. The star-splattered peacock blue curtains parted slowly. A blue spotlight curled down to a black piano, and there, bathed in that light, was the dog I had been looking for my whole life. My insides were on fire. I was smitten. I was bitten. I was in love. She closed her eyes. Her elegant paws with her neatly manicured claws began to play. A Chopin ballade, a smattering of Smetana, a medley of Mozart. As she finished, the transported audience burst into a frenzy of applause. Merci beaucoup, she murmured demurely. So, Chopin, Smetana, Mozart, those are all composers. So she played a medley of different music. And then at the end she said, merci beaucoup, when people were applauding. And that means thank you very much in French. So, how's Max feeling? I was clickering. I wanted to run and hide. The poem I had prepared seemed meaningless. Chairs? Who cared about chairs? I tore up the old poem and jumped onto the stage. So Max was supposed to go after Crêpe Suzette and perform poetry at the club, but he was so moved by her performance that he decided he didn't want to read the poem he had ready, and he wants to say something else instead. So let's see what he says. Oh, my hoochie coochie poochie, your hotty spotty body makes me tingle with joy. You played the legato, my heart went staccato. My musical muse, no longer confused. I have found my raison d'etre. It is you, my Crêpe Suzette. So let's talk about some of the words that he's using. He says, you played the legato, and legato means to play slowly and smoothly. And then he says, my heart went staccato, and staccato is like very like fast and rapid and sharp. And so you can imagine, when your heart beats really fast, that's a staccato feeling. And then he says, I have found my raison d'etre. And that in French means reason to be. So he's found his whole purpose. And he says, it's you, my Crêpe Suzette. So then how do we think that's going to go? And here we have a big scene. So we can see all these people parading along. And then if we look at the whole picture, and then I'll read us the story of what's happening on this page, we can see Max and Crêpe Suzette arm in arm, and she's a Dalmatian, and she's wearing a spotted coat, which I think is an extra fun detail. And so what does Max say about that? He says, the rest, as they say, is history. Crêpes is coming with me to Hollywood. She will compose the music for my movie. Our last day in Paris, we led the Dog Day Parade. So that, I think, is what we're talking about here. This is the Dog Day Parade, and we can see all of these dogs are parading. And in the distance, in this corner up here, you can kind of see the Arc de Triomphe, which is another big monument in Paris. And so all these dogs are walking along from there. And then, so we'll see, what does he say about the Dog Day Parade? I read the poem I had written for this occasion. In chic Paris, the chicest day is when the dogs stroll down the Champs-Élysées. Great Danes romancing, pink poodles prancing. It's swank, it's grand, it's pooch couture. They saunter with style about half a mile and end up at Maxim's, that most marvelous spot, for champagne and caviar and a little whatnot. A toast to life, a toast to love. Salut, ole, we're off to L.A. So they're going to go to Los Angeles. And as he says, Crêpe Suzette is going to write the music for the movie that he is going to write, because now he's in love and he feels like he can write a movie about being in love. And all of these dogs are strolling down the Champs-Élysées, which is a very famous street in Paris. It's a big, beautiful boulevard. And so this is the scene, and we can see the pink poodles and all the dogs that he's talking about in the dog parade. And now we're almost to the end of the story, And the very last scene, we've got the phone call between Jacques and Mimi, but this time, there's nobody there. There's nobody on either end of the phone. So we're going to hear what the phone call was, and then I think we can figure out maybe why nobody's on the phone this time. So let's see. Allô? Oh, Jacques. What a night it was. Quelle nuit, which is what a night in French. It was the night of love. Before our eyes, Max and Clips became a dog duet. Paw in paw, they strolled through Paris. But now they are sailing for Hollywood on the Toujours l'Amour. Oh, Jacques, I feel so sad, so empty, so triste. Jacques, why do you never say anything? All I do is talk to you. And you hardly ever utter a word, and I... What? What? Oh, Jacques, I am stunned. I am completely speechless, and I'm trying to think of something to say, but I cannot because my mind is swirling and twirling and... What? Yes, Jacques. Yes. So simple. Yes, of course I can say that. Yes, Jacques. I love you. The end. So what do we think happened with Jacques and Mimi? Do we think maybe they got off the phone and they decided to meet in person? That's what I like to think. And there's the final pages of the book with all these fun drawings and all these different characters. And yeah, and here's the back of the book. And this is a picture of our author and illustrator, Maira Kalman, with some poodles and the Eiffel Tower in the background. So remember to try and read, even like just 20 minutes a day is perfect. And this story is longer than that. And so you've done your reading for today. And thank you for reading with me. And I hope that you enjoyed Ooh La La, Max in Love.